Our next objective is making sense of customers and markets. Understanding business-to-business customers. Successful business marketers understand the needs of their customers and are able to translate these needs into a superior value. Now, there are 3 types of customer needs. Number 1, basic needs. Basic needs are the basic requirements that each vendor needs to meet to be in the business. Number 2, satisfier needs. These are the needs that a customer would like to see fulfilled but which do not impact the customer's buying behavior. The third need is attract needs. Attract needs are needs that, if performed best in the industry, they deliver such superior value to the customers that they are willing to switch vendors. Let us now look at the customer activity cycle. Customer decision making, problem recognition, orientation and evaluation, purchase, delivery and installation, use, maintenance and repair, expansion and upgrading, disposal. Customer keeps it going. Customer decides what to do. Customer does it. Now, let's look at the organizational buying process. Stage 1. Product specification and requests for proposals. Activities of vendors. Stages of buying process. Activities of buying organization. Let's look at the activities of vendors. Make the customer aware of the problems. Focus on customer situation. The stage of buying process here is need recognition. The activities of buying organization would be to involve various functions, analyze consequences for various business units. Next, let's look at the activity of the vendor. Offer specialized knowledge, influence and specifications, assist at value analysis. This stage of buying process is formulating specifications, where the activity involved would be to translate functional user requirements into technical specifications and plan manufacturing. Next, the activity of the vendor is to develop a relationship, build trust, influence the selection process. This requires identifying the potential vendors. The activity here would be to combine the internal and external information. Then comes influencing RFP, match proposal with specification and suggest improvements. The stage of buying process here would be to request for proposals, and the activity would be to determine number of proposals, provide clear information. The next activity of the vendors is to stay in touch, offer suggestions, provide additional information and modify proposal. This would need evaluation of proposal, and the activity here would be to trade off between the criteria and objectives and request additional information. Stage 2 is negotiations and selections. The activity here is to be flexible, build trust, develop a relationship. The stages of buying process is to negotiate with the vendors, and the activity is to have a dialogue about various topics, combine short and long term. The next activity is stay in touch, be flexible and demonstrate commitment. The stage of buying process is to select vendors, trade off between criteria and objectives, decide on single, dual or multiple sourcing as an activity of the buying organization. The next activity of the vendor in this stage 2 is clear and unambiguous agreements, possibly exclusiveness. The stage here is to draw up the contract, and the activity is to formulate negotiated terms in the legal contract. Now, stage 3, which is order fulfillment and evaluation. The activity of the vendor is to keep promises, inform purchasing about the progress, solve problems immediately and manage daily contracts. Stages of buying process here would be to order fulfillment and evaluation, and the activity involved would be monitoring by purchasing and communication with the other department. The next activity is solve problems, handle complaints and suggest product improvements, for which we would need evaluation and feedback, and the activity here is continuous evaluation of the product and performance, formulate supplier development program. What is market sensing? The process of collecting market information and making sense of all the information is called market sensing. Effective market sensing requires an open-minded inquiry, widespread information distribution, and mutually informed mental models that guide interpretation. But many B2B firms are too focused on their internal processes, or they feel that they already know all about their markets and the best way to serve them. Collecting information about customers. Whole market. Aggregated information about all the customers in the market. Market segment. Customers are grouped into more or less homogeneous segments, and the information concerns all the customers in the segment. Organization. Detailed information about individual customers, share of customers, age of production equipment, location, industry. Buying center. Number of individuals, power, structure, roles, external influencers, buying motives, communication needs. Individual. Detailed information about individuals, risk aversion, personality buying motives, relative power and influence. Now let's look at public sources. Much information about B2B customers can be gleaned from public sources such as international government organization, market research agencies, industry associations, trade journals and business periodicals, national and international newspapers, online directories. Market research. B2B market research has several characteristics that distinguish it from customer market research. Most B2B market research is exploratory and uses secondary data and subjective estimates. B2B market research uses relatively small samples. B2B market research uses interviews and surveys rather than observation and experiments. B2B market research is plagued by a number of practical problems. Most B2B market research is global. Business-to-business market segmentation variables. The potential segmentation variables can be grouped into three categories: characteristics of the buying organization, type of organization, number of employees, sales volume, industry, geographic location, product application, degree of source loyalty. Characteristics of the buying center, buying roles, number of decision makers, degree of formalization, degree of centralization, stage in buying process, decision-making style. Characteristics of individual decision makers: age, education, organizational position, role and influence in buying center, degree of self-confidence, buying criteria. The nested approach. Bonoma and Shapiro proposed this model. Their nested approach consists of 5 categories of increasingly detailed information about an organization's buying behavior: demographics, industry, size, location; process characteristics describing the organization's operations, technology employed, whether or not the organization uses the vendor's product, financial stability; purchasing approach, organization of the buying center, power structure, purchasing policies, relation with the competitors; situational factors, urgency, order size, product application; personal characteristics, motivation, risk perception, relationship with the vendors.